Let me tell you something I've learned the hard way, with the years etched into my face and the memories carved deep into my heart. I've lived through love and loss, joy and disappointment. I've seen the world change more than once. But through it all, one thing has never changed. The way a woman can walk into a room and turn every head. Yes, even at 60, even at 70, maybe especially then. Because when you're older, there's a power in you that most don't see coming. A quiet kind of power that doesn't shout but whispers something that stirs deep in a man's soul. But I'll tell you this, the world may not make it easy for older women to feel seen. It's like after a certain age, people stop looking, they stop noticing, they stop listening. And that can hurt. It can make you question your worth. But hear me out. That magic, that glow, it's still there. And sometimes all it takes to bring it back to the surface is something as simple as the right color. Now, I'm not talking about fancy makeup or expensive jewelry. I'm not talking about trends or what the magazines say is in season. I'm talking about real color, the kind of color that wraps itself around you and brings your spirit forward, the kind that wakes up a room when you walk in. You see, color has a way of speaking before you ever say a word. And for a woman of a certain age, the right color can say everything she wants without her having to explain a damn thing. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was at a church gathering. Nothing fancy, just a group of folks talking, laughing, sharing food. And then she walked in. Now she wasn't young. Her hair was silver, pulled back neat. Her hands showed the life she'd lived. But I swear to you, the room stopped for a second. It wasn't her voice. It wasn't her perfume. It was her dress, deep red. Not bright, not flashy, just deep like aged wine. And there was something about that red, something that made every man in that room look up and take notice, even the young ones. But more than that, it made her look proud, strong, like she'd lived a full life and wasn't about to shrink for anybody. That red didn't scream. It stood tall. It said, "I'm here," without begging. And it's stuck with me all these years. I've seen it again and again. Certain colors, worn with confidence, unlock something in a man's heart. And not in a shallow way. Not the way some folks think men just notice youth or skin. Number. When a man really sees a woman over 60, it's because something in her presence hits him right between the ribs. It's not about age. It's about essence. And color, my dear, plays a mighty big part in that. You want to know the color that makes men notice older women instantly? It's not pink. It's not soft beige. It's not the kind of color that tries to disappear. It's cobalt blue. Yes, cobalt blue. Not navy, not baby blue, but that rich, striking shade that catches the eye like a lightning bolt on a stormy night. That color has life in it. It has story. It has dignity without being stiff. When a woman wears cobalt blue, she doesn't fade into the background. She stands in it. She belongs in it. And men, whether they mean to or not, they look. I once saw a woman at a funeral, no less, wearing a cobalt blue scarf over her black coat. She wasn't trying to be the center of anything. She stood there quiet, respectful. But I saw every man glance her way at least once. Not because she was loud, but because that blue against her silver hair, against her kind eyes, made you want to know her story. That's what real attraction is. Not just noticing, wanting to know. And let me tell you something else. Cobalt blue makes your skin look alive. I don't care if your skin's got wrinkles or spots or time's rough touches. That blue lifts it up. It gives your eyes a little more spark. It makes you look like yourself again. Not the younger you, the real you, the one you've grown into, the one who's earned her stories and wears them with pride. Now, I know some of you might say, "I'm too old for bright colors," or "I don't want to draw attention to myself." But let me ask you this. Why the hell not? You've spent decades raising families, holding jobs, surviving grief, holding on to your dignity when the world tried to shake it from you. Don't you think you deserve to be seen? To be admired, not just for what you do, but for who you are. I've watched too many women shrink themselves over time. They wear gray because they feel gray. They wear beige because they don't want to upset anyone. But there's something sad about that. Not because of the clothes, but because they've been told they're past their moment. And I'm here to tell you, your moment didn't pass, it evolved. When a woman over 60 wears cobalt blue, she doesn't try to be young again. She doesn't pretend to be anything she's not. She steps forward as herself. And men respect that. They notice it, not just with their eyes, with something deeper. It stirs something in them. I remember sitting at a wedding reception once. There was this woman, probably 70, maybe more. She had on a cobalt blue shawl over a simple dress. No jewelry, no fuss. And I'll be damned if half the men there weren't trying to find a way to talk to her. She had this smile like she'd seen it all and still chose to be kind. That blue told the truth of her. You see, we don't need more loudness in this world. We need more truth. And the right color can be the truth you wear. Cobalt blue is one of those truths. It says you've still got fire, not a wildfire that burns everything. A steady flame that's kept you warm all these years. I'm not telling you what to wear. Lord knows I've learned better than to tell a woman anything she hasn't asked for. But I'll say this. If you ever feel invisible, if you ever wonder whether anyone sees you anymore, try cobalt blue. Just once. Maybe a blouse, maybe a scarf, maybe a pair of earrings. Just enough to let it whisper something bold. Because when you wear it, you won't just be seen. You'll remember yourself. The self you might have forgotten in the noise of everything. And that, more than anything, is what makes men notice. Not just what they see, but how you feel in your own skin. It's not magic. It's not a trick. It's just the way things are. Men are drawn to confidence, to grace, to presence, and the right color brings all that forward. Cobalt blue is like a flag for a woman who's lived. It says, I'm still here, in a way that demands nothing but commands everything. So if you ever find yourself wondering whether your light still shines, remember this. Your light never went out. It just needs the right color to reflect it back to the world. And if you ask this old man, cobalt blue is the color that does exactly that. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission to stand out. You've earned the right to be seen, and you don't need youth to be radiant. You just need truth. And sometimes truth comes in the form of a deep, vivid blue that reminds everyone that you're not done. Not by a long shot. So go on, open that drawer, pick up that scarf or blouse or dress that feels a little bolder than what you're used to, and wear it. Wear it like it means something. Because it does, it means you're still writing your story, and you're not afraid for the world to read it. Now go on and be seen, because you, my dear, are still worth noticing every damn day. Now let's clear some common questions. What are some common misconceptions about older women wearing bright or bold colors, and how can they challenge these assumptions? My dear, let me share something with you about the beauty of age and the power of color. You see, there's a misconception that older women with their silver hair and life-worn faces should stick to muted tones, soft pastels, and pale shades that don't challenge the world's idea of what they should look like. I've lived long enough to see society's insistence on what's appropriate for a woman of a certain age. There's this lingering, quiet belief that older women should blend in, fade into the background, as though their days of vibrancy and boldness have passed. But let me tell you, my dear, age does not dull the soul. In fact, it sharpens it, and no piece of fabric should ever be allowed to stifle that sharpness. Now, I know what some might say. They'll claim that bright or bold colors are the domain of the young, of those who have the energy to wear red, like they own the world, or splash themselves with electric blues that practically glow. They'll say bright colors are too loud for older women, as if there's some kind of unwritten rule about who should be seen and who should be heard. But that's the biggest misconception of all, my dear. What's loud is not the color, it's the spirit that wears it. Colors, whether soft or bold, are nothing but a mirror to the energy we carry within ourselves. Let's not forget that the world is full of color, bursting at the seams with hues that echo our moods, our passions, and our personalities. Just because a woman reaches a certain age, it doesn't mean she should mute herself and fade into the background. In fact, it's often the opposite. Older women who embrace bright colors challenge the very notion of aging gracefully by showing the world that they are still vibrant, still full of life, still ready to make their mark. A woman wearing a bold red dress is not just making a fashion statement, She is declaring to the world that she is alive, that she will not be silenced by the passing years. There's another misconception too, you know. People tend to assume that when women get older, they should dress in a way that hides their bodies, covering up wrinkles, hiding the signs of a life fully lived. Well, let me tell you something, dear. That's a mistake. Aging is not something to hide, it's something to celebrate. The skin may change, the body may soften, but the essence of a person, the wisdom, the experience, the stories, is something to be worn proudly. In bright colors, far from drawing attention to what society might deem flaws, actually bring attention to the life that still burns brightly inside. It's the kind of energy that says, I am here, I have lived, and I'm not done yet. Some might argue that bright colors on older women are too bold, too daring, too unexpected. They might say that such colors are for the young, for the ones who have the energy to match the vibrancy of a bright yellow blouse or a neon green scarf. But to that I say, what is it about age that demands we lose our boldness? What is it about the passage of time that suggests we should stifle the very things that make us feel alive? Boldness is not a luxury reserved for the young. It's a gift for everyone, at every stage of life. The truth is, the more years you accumulate, the more wisdom you gain, and the more you should embrace the idea of being bold in all things. Color is no exception. In my experience, one of the most empowering things a woman can do is wear whatever makes her feel confident and alive. The world is full of so much judgment, so many rules about how we should look, how we should act, especially as we grow older. But I say challenge those rules. Wear the bright red hat that makes you smile, the cobalt blue dress that makes you feel unstoppable, or the vibrant orange cardigan that brings a touch of fire to your day. When you wear what makes you feel powerful, you radiate a kind of energy that doesn't go unnoticed. People will see you not as a woman who has aged, but as a woman who has fully lived and continues to live with all the energy she has in her. I've seen so many older women hide behind their dull, earth-tone wardrobes, thinking that they should dress their age, as if age has anything to do with the colors we choose to wear. But let me tell you, age has nothing to do with it. What matters is the spirit inside you. If your spirit is vibrant and ready to take on the world, then your clothes should reflect that. A bright color is like a signal to the universe. It's saying, I'm here and I'm ready to embrace the fullness of life. It challenges the assumption that older women should be subdued, that they should fade away into muted backgrounds. Instead, it declares loudly that they are not just surviving, they are thriving. And let me be clear, I am not saying that every older woman must wear bold colors, just as I wouldn't say that every young woman must wear them either. What I am saying is this: it is time to challenge the assumptions that try to limit us based on age. It is time to break free from the notion that our clothes should be a reflection of what we've lost rather than a celebration of what we still have. Bold colors are for anyone who has the courage to wear them, no matter how old they are. When an older woman chooses to wear bright colors, she is challenging the very notion of aging as something to be feared or avoided. She is rewriting the story of what it means to grow older, showing that it is not a time to fade into the background, but rather a time to embrace one's full, vibrant self. And in doing so, she teaches all of us that there is no age limit on living boldly, on wearing your spirit on your sleeve, on showing the world that you are still here and still capable of making a difference. So let the world think what it will. Wear the bold colors, wear the fire, wear the passion, and wear the love of life. Because, my dear, that's what truly shines through. What specific elements of older women's life experiences does a color like cobalt blue capture? And how does it speak to men on a deeper level? Cobalt blue. Now there's a color that carries a depth and richness, a complexity that cannot be fully understood at first glance. To the untrained eye, it might just seem like another shade of blue, bright, bold, and striking. But to those who have lived through decades of experiences, it becomes a color that speaks volumes. You see, cobalt blue is not just a mere hue. It is a reflection of the vast ocean of life that older women have sailed. It holds within it stories of resilience, strength, wisdom, and the quiet fire that has burned, sometimes fiercely, sometimes softly throughout the years. For older women, this color captures the essence of their journey, the triumphs, the losses, the moments of grace, and the moments of power. It represents not just a chapter, but an entire novel of life, lived boldly and without apology. When I look at cobalt blue, I see a woman who has lived through trials, who has faced the storms of life, and yet remains unbroken, standing tall with grace and poise. You see, that color is not a symbol of youthful naivety or the fleeting innocence of a springtime bloom. No, cobalt blue speaks of wisdom earned through years of living. It speaks of women who have seen the world change around them, who have witnessed the ebb and flow of life, and yet in the end, they have remained true to themselves. They wear this color because it reflects their strength. There's nothing soft or passive about cobalt blue. It is a color of boldness, of independence, and of a quiet confidence that has been earned over time. It is the kind of color that captures the essence of a life lived on one's own terms, regardless of the expectations placed upon them. This color, cobalt blue, also speaks to the way older women navigate their relationships, particularly with men. It's a color that resonates on a deeper level because it carries an air of mystery and experience. Men, particularly as they grow older themselves, can sense this. You see, when an older woman wears cobalt blue, she isn't just wearing a color, she's wearing her life story. She's wearing the confidence that comes from having lived, from having loved, from having learned the hard lessons and the sweet ones. It draws men in, not because it is a color they associate with superficial beauty or fleeting trends, but because it hints at something deeper, a depth that is not immediately visible, but can only be felt. A woman in cobalt blue is a woman who knows herself, who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. She's seen it all, and she wears it like a badge of honor. For a man, especially one who has lived a bit of life himself, there's a recognition in cobalt blue that transcends simple attraction. It's the recognition of someone who has weathered life's challenges with grace and has emerged on the other side with a quiet strength that is magnetic. Men can see this in the way the woman carries herself. They see it in the way the color brings out her features and adds a certain vibrancy to her presence. It's not an attention-seeking color, but rather it's a color that demands attention through its sheer presence. And men, if they are paying attention, understand that it's a color that represents maturity and understanding. Qualities that can't be faked and that only come with age. Cobalt blue for older women is not about the external. It's about the internal fire that has been nurtured over years of life experience. The late nights, the quiet mornings, the successes and failures, the loves and losses, all of these things are woven into the very fabric of who she is. The color speaks of a woman who has fought for her place in the world, who has made her mark, and who is not afraid to stand out, even when others might want her to fade into the background. There's a quiet rebellion in that, a refusal to conform, a demand to be seen, to be recognized not just for her age, but for the depth and richness of her life's journey. And when it comes to men, cobalt blue challenges them to see more than just a woman. It challenges them to see the woman's history, her experience, her wisdom. It's a color that calls on men to recognize that there is much more beneath the surface than what they might initially perceive. Men are drawn to it because it's a color that represents something lasting, something that isn't fleeting. It's a color that speaks of timeless beauty, but not the kind that fades with time. No, this beauty grows richer with every year, every wrinkle, every gray hair. It's a beauty that is not bound by age but enhanced by it. Older women who choose cobalt blue are sending a message. They're saying, I am here, I have lived, and I am still living with purpose, with passion, with strength. And that, my friend, is a message that men hear, whether they realize it or not. It's a message that resonates with them on a deeper, almost primal level. It speaks to their own experiences of growth and change, their own evolving understanding of what true beauty is. When they see a woman wearing cobalt blue, they understand that she is not to be taken lightly. She is someone who knows her worth, who has nothing to prove, and who has lived fully in a way that only time can teach. Cobalt blue, in all its depth and richness, captures the essence of life itself, the highs and lows, the moments of joy and sorrow, the wisdom gained with time, and the fire that burns within. For older women, it is a color that speaks to their journey, a journey that cannot be defined by age but by the experiences they've had, the lessons they've learned, and the ways they have chosen to shape their lives. It's a color that dares to speak of power, of strength, of the kind of beauty that cannot be easily defined but is, instead, earned. For men, cobalt blue serves as a reminder that beauty is not just something that is seen, but something that is felt. It's a reminder that true beauty comes from within, from the way one carries themselves, from the life one has lived. It challenges them to see beyond the surface and to appreciate the richness of a woman's experience, the depth of her character, and the strength of her spirit. And that, my dear, is a gift that, like cobalt blue, only grows more precious with time. How can older women find the balance between dressing in a way that feels authentic to their personality while also utilizing colors to amplify their presence and capture the attention of men? Ah, the delicate dance of dressing in a way that both reflects your true self and captures the attention of others, particularly men. It's a question I've pondered long and hard, having watched many women over the years navigate the tricky terrain between authenticity and the desire to be noticed. As we age, we often feel a pull between wanting to stay true to who we are, our personality, our essence, and the pressure to look a certain way, to fit into a mold that society has constructed for older women. But let me tell you something, my dear. There is no mold, there is no rule book. The secret lies in finding the sweet spot where your clothes become an extension of your spirit, not something you wear to fit into someone else's expectations. And that, my friend, is where the magic happens. You see, older women have something that many of the younger generation don't. We've lived, we've learned, we've made mistakes and grown from them. There's an authenticity to us that comes with time, a kind of self-awareness that is earned and not just given. When you reach a certain age, you begin to understand who you truly are. The days of trying to impress others with fleeting trends or trying to squeeze into clothes that don't quite fit your body or your soul are behind you. Now it's all about dressing in a way that feels natural, that feels like you are embracing every part of yourself with pride. But here's the catch. Dressing in a way that feels authentic doesn't mean you should shy away from using colors to amplify your presence. Colors, my dear, are a powerful tool. They are like the brushstrokes on the canvas of your life, each one adding to the masterpiece you've become. The key to finding this balance is to know what colors resonate with you, what shades make you feel alive, and what speaks to your inner spirit. For some women, that may be the calming blues or soft earth tones that reflect a quiet elegance. For others, it may be the bold, vibrant colors, reds, yellows, or even a striking cobalt blue, that bring out a fire within them. When you wear colors that reflect your inner energy, you don't just wear them, you become them. You radiate that energy to the world, and believe me, the world takes notice. But it's not about being flashy or loud. It's about confidence. It's about wearing a color that makes you feel like you can conquer anything, that makes you feel alive, vibrant, and yes, desirable. Because the truth is, men are drawn to women who wear confidence like a second skin. Now, I know what some may say. They'll tell you that older women should stick to safe colors, soft pastels or neutral tones that don't make waves. But who decided those are the only colors that suit women of a certain age? It's a lie, and it's a dangerous one. It's a trap that keeps women in a box, confined to a narrow view of what they're allowed to wear. And I'm here to tell you, throw that box away. Embrace the boldness that is within you. If a rich red dress speaks to your soul, wear it. If a vibrant yellow makes you feel like the sun itself, wear it. Colors like these aren't just for the young. They're for anyone who has the confidence to wear them, to embody the energy they exude. When you wear bold colors, you don't just stand out in a crowd, you command attention. You say to the world, here I am. This is me, and I am unapologetically bold. But of course, it's not just about wearing any color. The key is to understand how the colors you choose speak to others, particularly men. Men are visual creatures. There's no denying that, and they are often drawn to what catches their eye. But it's not just about looking good on the surface. It's about feeling good on the inside. When a woman wears a color that feels right for her, one that amplifies her energy, her personality, her very essence, that's what men respond to. They see more than just the fabric. They see the woman within, glowing with confidence, radiating warmth, and yes, even a little mystery. And men love mystery. They love the idea that there's more beneath the surface, that the woman they are looking at has lived, has experienced, and is now standing proudly in the fullness of who she is. Now let's talk about how to strike that balance. How can you dress in a way that feels authentic to you while also capturing the attention of men in a way that feels natural and not forced? The answer lies in understanding your personal style and how colors can enhance it. If you're a woman who feels at home in soft, flowing fabrics and natural tones, then don't force yourself into something bright and bold just because you think it's what others want. But if you're someone who has always felt a spark of energy when you wear something vibrant, then don't hold back. Wear those colors with pride. But remember, it's not just about the clothes. It's about the way you carry yourself. It's about owning the color, owning the moment, and owning the space you inhabit. You can amplify your presence with color in subtle ways too. Perhaps it's just a pop of red in your scarf, a splash of emerald green in your jewelry, or a deep royal blue blouse that draws the eye. It doesn't have to be an entire outfit that screams for attention. Sometimes it's the smallest details that make the biggest impact. A well-chosen color can elevate your entire look, turning an otherwise simple outfit into something powerful. It can highlight your best features, bring out the brightness in your eyes, or accentuate the natural glow of your skin. When you dress in a way that feels true to who you are, while also embracing colors that make you feel vibrant and alive, you can't help but draw others in. But here's the trick, my dear. Dressing authentically while capturing attention isn't about changing who you are or trying to fit into someone else's idea of beauty. It's about celebrating your own beauty, your own personality, and using colors as a tool to express that. It's about feeling good in your skin, in your clothes, and in the way the world sees you. Men in particular are drawn to women who are comfortable with who they are. There is nothing more attractive than confidence. And there is no better way to exude confidence than by dressing in a way that feels authentic to your spirit. When you wear something that makes you feel like you can take on the world, others will see that energy and be drawn to it. So, my dear, embrace the colors that make your heart sing. Find the ones that reflect your inner strength, your vibrancy, and your authenticity. Wear them not because you want to fit into some mold, but because they are the perfect expression of who you are. And as you do, you'll find that your presence will amplify, and the attention you receive won't just be about the way you look. It will be about the way you make others feel. And that, my dear, is the true magic of dressing authentically while capturing the attention of those around you. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel, so until next time, take care.